Hey everyone, this is Robin at One Paper Street, and today I'm going to show you how to use stencils with some colored pencils. So we are going to use this Altenew Feathery stencil, and I really like this stencil because it has this one big feather right in the center, and we're going to use that to trace on our card base. So I'm just drawing it directly on the card base, and you'll see that I'm taking my pencil and just kind of outlining the main part of the feather. Now, what you don't see in this video is that once I'm done tracing, I do connect the places where it wouldn't have been able to connect while the stencil's on it. But essentially, I do that and then I start coloring in the outline first. Now, to color in the outline of the feather, I wanted to make it darker on top and then lighter on the bottom. So I'm using some magenta-like tones. So I'm using red violet on the top, which is number 194. And then in the middle, I'm using middle purple pink, which is number 125. And then I'm also using light magenta, which is 119 on the bottom. I had some pencil marks that I wanted to hide, so I chose to outline my feather using a Radiograph pen. So I used the 1.50 nib and I traced my feather outline. Now I used several different colors for the inside of the feather because I really wanted it to blend well. So I used white as the first color, and that's the closest interior color, and that was number 101. And then next I used ivory, which was color 103. And then after that, I used some cream, which is pencil 102. And then I actually did the darkest color at the very tip of the outside of the feather, and that was color 106. And then I filled in any leftover empty space with cadmium yellow, which was 107, in between the dark cadmium yellow and the cream. And the reason I did that is because I needed to have um, a very precise coloring by the dark yellow because it's so close to the purple and I didn't want to get too close and blend and I didn't want to run out of space with the cadmium yellow. So that's just how I do it. It's a personal preference. You definitely don't have to do it that way. But those are the colors that I used for the interior to kind of blend out from a white to a yellowish tone. Now, you may have noticed that I used some brown earlier on in the video. I did decide to scrap that. I didn't like it. I didn't think it made the color pop enough, and so I basically covered the light brown with white, and I think that was the better choice for this particular card. Okay, so from here I'm going to use this happy birthday sentiment from Lawn Fawn, and I die cut it out, and then I'm just using some glue on the back. Now I'm just dotting the glue and just lightly putting a little bit on it because I don't want it to squeeze out of the sides, and this is a very thin die. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm just kind of placing it a little bit closer to the bottom than the top, just so that the feather remains the focal point. And I also placed a stamping block on the card so that it would stay closed, it would stay flat while I'm placing my die. And then once my die is set in the place where I want it, I'll go ahead and take another stamping block and I'll just set that on the die so that the glue can dry before I cut the edges off of it. Now, lastly, I have some Nuvo drops and I'm placing them around the card in various places. You'll notice that I just circle my Nuvo drops a little bit as I'm laying them down on the card. It helps avoid getting that like mountain peak on your dot. You can just kind of circle around a little bit, then the glue kind of works itself back into itself, and you don't get a little like, just like a little, I don't know how to describe it. You don't get a little, um, yeah, like sharp point on the top of the dot. So it definitely takes some practice, and you're seeing this in a much faster speed. But that is it for today's card. So thank you for stopping by. If you liked the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more future videos. You can also find other tutorials at www.onepaperstreet.com, and you can follow me on Instagram. I hope you have a really great day. Take care.